Good morning. The Committee on Parole is called to order. Today is Tuesday, February 24th, 2026. It's 8:45 a.m. My name is Cheryl Renatza, serving as chairman of today's parole panel. We have on my colleagues on the panel today. Here with me in Baton Rouge, Mr. Pete Freeman. Remotely on Zoom is Mr. Steve Prater. As I said, we're at DOC headquarters in Baton Rouge. Our first remote location is at Bossier. And we have before us Mr. Seavoy. Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, Mr. Seavoy. Would you just for the record, sir, state your name and DOC number?
Courtney Savoy, 424-060.
Yes, sir. And we're here because you had a revocation hearing in November, on November 18th of last year, 2025. In lieu of revocation, the board ordered you to complete the Seavoy program, and Bossier has determined you're not medically appropriate to be at their program. So that's why we're here today. Your case has been assigned to Mr. Prater, so I'm just going to turn it over to him. Would you answer his questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning, Mr. Savoy. How you doing?
All right, and you?
I'm doing good. I was on the panel the last time in November when you came before us, and there were all sorts of violations. I won't go over them right now because in lieu of that, we decided to give you another shot because you wanted to try an inpatient in-house, and that was your, you volunteered to do that, and we went over all of that. And then you got to Bossier, and they said you keep falling down and tripping over stuff, and basically they say they can't complete that program because you're medically unfit. What's going on with you?
Well, I had fell and my shoulder had dislocated, and the emergency room couldn't get it back in place. They said it would have to be surgically relocated.
Well, more than just that, though. There was other incidents, remember, that they wrote up, like you tripping at different times, and it wasn't just one time.
Well, I mean, one time was the injury, but after I got in the sling, having only one arm, it kind of makes you off balance. But like any other fall, it didn't change the circumstances. The shoulder was dislocated already, and they said I need to have surgery to have it put back in place. It's just, I mean, having my arm in a sling and strapped to my body, it kind of makes you kind of off balance. I only have one arm to catch myself if I trip. The floors over here are painted, and we wear slippers, so it's slippery. I mean, it wasn't a whole bunch of incidents. It was just a couple.
Yes, sir. Well, I don't have much to say except we've run out of options on you. The last time, I mean, you readily admitted you couldn't do it on your own and you had to go to an inpatient treatment facility somewhere because you were hopelessly addicted. Is that not right?
Well, not really. I've been clean and sober for 194 days now. I've never, barring the shoulder, I've never felt so healthy in decades. Um, I'm please one chance. That's all I need. I promise you'll never see me in this situation again. I'll adhere to any special conditions of parole that you give me. Go to AANA meetings as many times as a week as necessary. I'll do anything it takes.
Yes, sir, but we've heard that from you before.
I mean, I can't make no excuses. It's been a tough road, but I feel like I've gotten a hold of this. It's been a while. It's been decades since I've had this long sober, and I feel like I can do this.
Okay, that's all the questions I have, Madam Chairman.
Prater. Mr. Seavoy, when did your shoulder injury occur
This time,
initially?
yeah, we're about 2015.
All right. Questions, Mr. Freeman? I don't have any other questions. Mr. Prater, you ready to vote?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Mr. Savoy, because of the last vote, in lieu of revocation, you were going to go through this substance abuse, and you can't do that because physically you can't perform there, and they're saying that you're not eligible for their program any longer, and because of your years and years and years of addictions, and the fact that you openly admit that you need some help, I think for your own good, for your own benefit, my vote is to revoke your parole.
Mr. Freeman?
I don't see where we have any other choice either. I was the one that had come up with the drug treatment, but I don't see anything else to
Please.
my vote to revoke.
Mr. Seavoy, my vote today, I've reviewed the file. I find you guilty of your alleged violations, and that's rule number 2, 3, and 10. And you're not willing to cooperate with the Steve Hall program, so my vote today is to revoke your parole. Good luck to you, sir. All right, good morning. Committee on Parole is now at AVOYELLES Detention Center. And I believe we have Mr. Fred Ballard before us. Mr. Ballard, good morning.
Good morning.
Would you tell us your name and DOC number, please, sir?
Fred Ballard, 389925.
Okay, thank you, sir. And we're here for a revocation decision today. Let me introduce the panel to you. I'm Cheryl Renatza. You see Mr. Steve Prater there on your screen. And here to my right is Mr. Pete Freeman. Do you have parole revocation? Do you have any paperwork?
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Is that your parole revocation questionnaire?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that your signature at the bottom of that page?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, based on that information, sir, you're not eligible for us to appoint you a lawyer. So are you ready to proceed?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, your case has been assigned to Mr. Freeman. I'll turn it over to him.
Okay, Mr. Ballard, I'm gonna read the conditions to you that you have alleged to violate. You can plead guilty, not guilty, with or without a statement. Okay? First condition is I will not engage in any criminal activity, nor will I associate with persons who are known to be involved in criminal activity. I will avoid bars and casinos. I will refrain from the illegal use of drugs or alcohol. On or about 2/8/25, you committed the offense of possession of a firearm or carrying of a concealed weapon by a person convicted of certain felonies and possession of a firearm or carrying of a concealed weapon by a person convicted of domestic abuse. You were arrested and booked into the Voyles Parish Jail that same day. On 12/11/25, you were convicted of criminal mischief and you were given 6 months in the Voyles Parish Jail credit for time served. How do you plead to that violation?
Not guilty.
Sir,
Yes.
guilty?
No, not guilty.
Not guilty. Okay, tell me why you're not guilty.
Sorry, due to the fact, with the charge, I mean, I ain't caused no trouble, none of that. And if you read the paper, whenever I went to question the dude about my vehicle, he wasn't even home. I ain't even go there for none of that. I went to see, cause I paid him to fix my truck and all that. And I went there to try to see what was going on. And he wasn't even there. His sister stay up front. She called the police on me for no reason at all.
Okay, when they got there and you had a gun in the front of your pants.
Yes, sir.
Okay, we don't need to go any further with my question, right? You're on parole, cannot have a gun, buddy. I can't allow that, but anyway. Condition number 5 is the same, and I find it in the same violations. Do my colleagues have any questions? Okay, we do have some people here to speak on your behalf. Miss Margie Ballard, your mother.
Yes, sir.
Miss Ballard? I think we can hear you, Miss Ballard. Is she on?
Is she there? She's muted.
She's muted.
Hit the mute button, please, ma'am. You see the mute?
There you
Yes,
Okay, go ahead. Tell us what you want us to know about your son, Fred.
he's a nice boy. I love him to death. I want him to come home. I miss him.
Okay. All right. Well, let's.
Uh-huh.
How about Patrice Reed with you?
Tree,
Does she want to speak?
Hello.
Okay. Hey, Miss Reed, what did you want to tell us about your boyfriend, Mr. Ballard?
He's a good person. He just, I don't know. I don't know. He's a good person. He's a hard worker. He had a good job. He was doing pretty good till that one night. But other than that, he was pretty good. He's a good person. We
Okay.
miss him. His kids miss him. His job miss him.
Thank you, ma'am. Appreciate that. Drake Rochelle is here in opposition to PNP agent. Drake, you have anything to add?
No, sir, I do not.
Okay, thank you for being here in case we needed you.
Yes, sir,
All
no
right.
problem.
I have no further questions. The panel has any questions?
None.
Okay, Mr. Ballard, we're ready to vote. Sir, I'm sorry, but like I said, you had the gun. There's nothing I can do. My vote today is to find your violation condition number 4 and number 5, and I vote to revoke your parole.
Mr. Prater?
I concur completely.
And my vote today also, Mr. Ballard, is to revoke. You admitted to having the firearm. So today, sir, your parole is being revoked. You'll have an opportunity to reapply for a parole. Again, we'll send you information on how to do that. Good luck.
Yes, ma'am. They can't even my parole off.
There we go. All right, good morning. Committee on Parole is now in CATAHOULA Correctional Center. And we have Mr. Lewis. Good morning, sir. Would you introduce yourself? Tell us for the record, your name and DOC number.
Books 737735.
Your first name was Ronald, you said?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, you broke up a little bit, so it's Ronald Lewis. Thank you, sir. We're here for a revocation decision today. And do you have any paperwork there with you, Mr. Lewis?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that a revocation questionnaire?
Yes, ma'am.
And is that your signature at the bottom of that page?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Based on that information, Mr. Lewis, you're not eligible for us to appoint you a lawyer. So are you ready to proceed without a lawyer today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, your case has been assigned to Mr. Freeman. Would you answer his question?
Okay, Mr. Lewis, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna read the conditions that you alleged to have violated, and you can plead guilty, not guilty, with or without a statement. Let me get to the conditions. Okay. I will not engage in any criminal activity, nor will I associate with people who are known to be involved in criminal activity. I will avoid bars and casinos. I will refrain from illegal use of drugs and alcohol. On 7/23/24, you were arrested by the New Orleans Police Department for second-degree kidnapping armed with a firearm and armed robbery with a firearm. And how do you plead to that violation?
Not guilty.
Okay, sir, tell me why you think you're not guilty. What happened? First off, what happened on your motions on 115? Have you went to trial yet?
No, sir.
Okay.
Still
All right. So tell me what went down.
Not sure, so they just pick me up.
They pick you up for what?
For they said I had a warrant in Mississippi, and then when I got to the district, it was other charges.
Okay. Do you go by the name of Melvin Stokes?
No, sir.
Lewis also identified as Melvin Stokes, Ace, as one of the subjects who was with him. Detectives showed Lewis a photograph of Melvin Stokes to confirm they were looking at the correct Melvin Stokes. Lewis signed a photograph of Ace confirming he also participated in the aggravated burglary and aggravated kidnapping. So why did you tell him that?
I don't remember that, sir.
So, okay, but that's what they saying. And also says that you were identified through surveillance when y'all took the man to get the money. Not guilty of any of that?
Not guilty, sir.
Okay. And then there was also condition number 5, I shall have not have in my possession or control any firearm or dangerous weapons. The offender was in possession of a firearm, evidenced by his arrest on 7/23/24 by the New Orleans Police Department for second-degree kidnapping armed with a firearm and armed robbery with a firearm. So how do you plead to that charge?
Not guilty.
So you don't know none of these people and you wasn't involved, is what you're telling.
Correct.
Okay. All right. They do have DNA and fingerprints. So that's something you're gonna be looking at. I have no further questions.
Mr. Prater?
No questions.
I don't have any questions either, Mr. Lewis. I think we're prepared to vote. Mr. Freeman?
Okay, Mr. Lewis, I do find you in violation of condition number 4. I think you were involved. They got DNA, they got fingerprints, they had your picture on surveillance. And you admitted that you were the other guy and signed the photo. So my vote today is going to be to revoke violating condition number 4. They did never actually say about the firearm, so I'm gonna say violating condition number 4.
Mr. Prater?
I concur.
My vote today also is that I find you guilty of violating your condition number 4 based on the evidence we have is to revoke. So today, sir, excuse me, your parole's been revoked. Good luck to you, sir. Good morning.
Good morning.
So the Committee on Parole is now at East Baton Rouge Parish Prison. Would you, the officer, please introduce yourself for the record?
Lieutenant Kay Mayberry.
Thanks, Lieutenant, for accommodating us. And we have one case at your facility and we are ready. Are they
Yes,
there?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Smith, would you introduce yourself for the record? Tell us your name and DOC number.
LEANDRE SMITH, 740461.
All right, thank you, sir. And do you have any paperwork there with you?
Yes, ma'am.
And that's a parole revocation questionnaire. Is that
Yes,
your
ma'am.
signature at the bottom of that
Yes,
page?
ma'am. Yes,
So
ma'am.
based on that, you're not eligible for a appointed lawyer today. So are you ready to proceed without lawyer?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so this morning, your case has been assigned to Mr. Freeman. See to my right, would you answer his questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Okay. I will not engage in any criminal activity, nor will I associate with people who are known to be involved in criminal activity. I will avoid bars and casinos. I will refrain from illegal use of drugs or alcohol. Agent Huff alleged the subject violated its condition that he was arrested and charged with battery of a daily quarter and pled guilty to the amended charge of disturbing the peace. Agent Huff provided the following facts on 4/27/25 under Baton Rouge Incident Report 2514-0976. It was alleged by the victim, Michaela Hampton, that the subject open hand slapped her with the back of his hand to the right side of her mouth. Officers on the scene noted Hampton showed a picture via cell phone of her mouth bleeding and a small cut on the inside, which she advised was caused by being slapped. The timestamp on the phone read the picture was taken on 4/26/25 at approximately 4:13 p.m. Officers were able to examine Hammond's mouth and observed a small cut on the inside of her upper lip. How do you plead to that violation?
Not guilty.
Okay, well, tell me what happened.
It was all a lie. I never hit nobody. And she was telling her like she was trying to drop the charges, but they ain't let her do it till after I got built on it. I never hit nobody. No, I'm not a violent person. I never touched nobody. I never did that.
Okay, well, why would she say you did that?
Cause she was mad about some other stuff, seeing me with another girl, I guess. But she was mad and she lied on me. And she could tell you that. I never touched her. I never did anything to her.
Where is she? You see her, okay. We'll talk to her in a second. Okay, let's go on and let's speak to the people that are here on your behalf. Carissa Seavoy, your mother?
Yeah, that's my mom.
Okay, Miss Seavoy, what you want to tell us about your son?
Good morning. I just want to say that my son, I just feel he needs to be home. He has 2 kids that he needs to, to be home to take care of. It's been a long time coming. The allegations that was brought against him, it was not true. We have been in contact with the girl, and she stated that, she was upset about seeing Leandre with another girl. So I just want my son to be able to come home and take care of his children.
Okay,
He has a new baby girl and also a 7-year-old son.
all right. Let's hear from Miss, I'm gonna say Miss Pointer. I'm not gonna try to pronounce your first name. Miss Pointer? What do you have to say on behalf of Leanne?
Yes, sir. This Miss Porter. I'm the kid's mother. Like his mother said, like we do have 2 kids together. I've been with him over 10 years. We never had those. If it was the case scenario, it would have been with me if anything. If I've been with him that long, I never had those. Like I said, I never had those problems with those. He is a great guy. He is willing to work. I just had, like she said, I just had a new baby. She's only 3 months, and I feel like I need help. I just picked up a new job. I have a 7-year-old. I'm a single parent right now. I just need help. I
Okay,
can't do it alone.
yes, ma'am, I understand that. Mr. Smith, were you working prior to your arrest?
Yes, sir.
Where were you working at?
I was working at Ammon Fencing in Gonzales with my stepdaddy.
Okay, they gonna hire you back?
Yes, sir. You'll be waiting on me.
Do you pay child support or do you help out financially with the kids?
Yes, I help financially. I don't pay child support though. I help out though a lot.
Okay, okay. All right, well, let's speak now to Miss Michaela Hampton, the victim.
She got off. She's not on.
She's not on anymore. Okay. All right, I have no further questions. Do my colleagues have any questions?
Mr. Prater?
Did you send Michaela some text messages and things threatening her?
No, I never
Did they have-
I never sent any text messages, sir.
Did you make any phone calls to her threatening her or telling her anything the next day?
No, sir. I never threatened her. I never called her. I never threatened her. Everything was a lie. She lied on me, sir. Everything was a lie. I never had a violence history. I don't do violent stuff. I've been in jail just trying to, get this over with. I never touched her. I never sent her no message. She was mad by seeing me with another female. And she made all this up. And it's crazy how somebody could be in jail for, word of mouth. You know what I'm saying? I don't do that. That's not me. I don't have a violent history. You know what I'm saying? I don't do that, sir.
She lied on you twice.
Lied on me twice.
And then
Right.
how'd she get to cutting her mouth?
That I don't know. If she
Okay,
was,
I don't have any other questions.
I don't know.
So you pled not guilty today. Why did you plead guilty to disturbing the peace?
Because my court date was October 29th. That's when I played. I went to trial October 29th. My baby was born November 4th. So I'm thinking in my head, if I get it dropped to a misdemeanor or something, like I was gonna go home that day and catch my baby, but that wasn't the process. Like that ain't what happened. I ended up being in jail till today. That's the only reason why I copped out to disturbing the peace and non-violent. I was trying to get it over with and get back home to my family.
So
That's the only reason why.
you and Miss Pointer are together?
Yes, ma'am.
Meantime, you had Miss Hampton on the side and somebody else.
No, it wasn't even that like that. It was not like.
Yeah, it's confusing to me.
It's
All
crazy.
right, any other questions?
No, ma'am.
All right, Mr. Freeman, you prepared to vote? Oh, I'm sorry, we got somebody on the phone. Is this Miss Hampton?
She said her phone keep kicking her out. So she was like, I'm gonna turn my phone off. I got out to
I'm ready. Mr. Freeman?
Are we ready to vote?
Yes.
Okay, like I hear from her, but anyway, okay, Mr. Smith, been in jail 8 months. My vote today is to be in lieu of, not in lieu of revocation. I'm gonna vote not to revoke, and I'm gonna add the condition that you go to an anger management class. Okay?
Yes,
They
sir.
got it right there at the Baton Rouge Day Reporting Center. I want you to go to that class. Also, I want no contact with Michaela Hampton.
Yes, sir.
If you get anywhere near her, you're gonna be arrested, and I'm gonna vote to revoke. Do you hear me?
Yes, sir. I hear you. Yes, sir.
That's my vote today.
Mr. Prater?
I'll concur with Mr. Freeman. I don't believe his story, but I think he's been in jail for 8 months now on this charge, so I'll concur with that.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I don't necessarily believe what's been said today, but I do agree with my colleagues based on the fact you've been in jail for 8 months in this matter. My vote today is do not revoke with the added condition you have absolutely no contact whatsoever with Michaela Hampton or any of her family.
Yes, ma'am.
Look, all right, good morning. The Committee on Parole is now at St. Tammany Jail. It is 9:25. Today is February 24th, 2026. We have Mr. Cavanaugh before us. Good morning, sir.
Morning,
Would you, for the record, sir, tell us your name and DOC number?
Joshua Cavanaugh, 493858.
Sir, Mr. Cavanaugh, and you have some paperwork there with you?
Yeah, I have a little bit. I mean, it's just, the parole, deferring papers and all that.
Oh, you have a lawyer here this morning. So we'll introduce her in just a moment. So your case this morning has been assigned to Mr. Freeman. I'm gonna just turn it over to him. Mr. Freeman.
Okay. All right, Mr. Cavanaugh, and I'm gonna introduce for the record, will the attorney introduce herself, please, ma'am?
I'm Joshua's attorney. My name's Justin Marquez.
Okay, Mr. Marquez, and we'll get your statement at the end, I take it, and you can give him any advice during the hearing.
Okay.
All right. All right, first off, I'm gonna read you the violations. You plead guilty, not guilty, with or without a statement, okay?
Yes, sir.
You have failed to refrain from criminal conduct as evidenced by your arrest on 5/29/25. You were arrested by the St. Tammany Parish Sheriff's Office in charge with possession with intent to distribute Schedule 2, obstruction of justice, contraband, possession of drug paraphernalia, improper lane usage, and driving under suspension. Cavanaugh pled guilty to the following violations: possession of drug paraphernalia, improper lane usage, and driving under suspension. He offered no further comment. Cavanaugh pled not guilty to following violations: possession with intent to distribute Schedule 2, obstruction of justice, and contraband. He offered no other comment. And the offense and a police report were provided. Okay, Mr. Cavanaugh, tell me what went on. What happened?
I was at work with my cousin, and I was just helping them like take off on the sheetrock, and they wanted to work late, and I didn't want to work late, so I had to call my girl to come get me, and she came pick me up, and she had to do a medical test the next day, so she asked me to drive. So I said, okay, so I drove, and I got pulled over like right in my driveway at my house. And well, that's pretty much it. I got traffic tickets, and that's pretty much all I know.
Okay, what about the drugs in the car?
Oh, I don't know.
Mr. Freeman.
Yes, sir.
I'm Justin Marquez, Mr. Cavanaugh's attorney on this case. His charges are pending against him. I arraigned him on the misdemeanors and the felonies, and to my recollection, it was a not guilty plea as to everything. His next court date is March the 10th, and the DA's office is considering dismissing the charges against Mr. Cavanaugh based upon Miss Caton's affidavit.
Okay. But Ms. Smith, what does the affidavit say? All the drugs were hers?
Yes, sir. I believe a copy was provided to y'all.
I didn't see the affidavit. Okay.
So as far as commenting on the facts of the case while it's pending, I have to advise them not to make any statements as to that. The hope today was to request, if possible, the matter to be continued past the court date on the 10th for a resolution of the case. But I understand if you need to proceed.
No, sir. I would be more willing to wait.
Okay.
See exactly what happens with these charges, because they do have a distribution charge, which is a felony. So I need to see what happens with that. So my recommendation, Ms. Chairman, is that we continue this to after his court date.
Mr. Prater, any objection?
No objection.
All right, and I don't either. So we will continue past the March 10th court date pending the outcome of those proceedings. And thank you, Ms. Sharp, for being here today. We look forward to you at the next hearing. Thank you, Mr. Martin. We'll see you again, Mr. Cavanaugh.
Thank you, everyone. You've been very kind. Y'all have a good day.
Thank you, Mr. Marquez.
Take care, Josh.
Ooh, man. That's your scenario, huh?
All right, is LCIW? So there we are.
Yes, ma'am.
Good morning. So the Committee on Parole is now at the Louisiana Correctional Institute for Women. Today's Tuesday, February 4th, 2026. And we have one case at your facility. Warden, would you and your staff please introduce yourself for the record?
Yes, ma'am. Kristen Thomas, Warden.
Tara P, ARDC Manager. Ashton Gaddy, ARDC Supervisor.
All right, thank you. And we have before us Miss Norma. Would you introduce yourself? Tell us your name and DOC number for the record.
NORMA GEIDEL, 798056.
All right, you're a little nervous this morning?
I'm just happy to see, I'm
Oh,
happy to see
you're
my
a fan.
dad's face and my sister's face.
Okay. Well, let me acknowledge your family. You have here on Zoom, we have your sister Nancy, your dad, Mr. James Whalen, and your daughter Destiny, and they all want to speak on your behalf. So we'll be listening to them in just a few minutes. First, we want to hear from you. Let me just read some identifying information into the record. You're classified as a first felony offender serving a 5-year sentence. You were sentenced in May of 2025 for possession of methamphetamine and simple burglary. You have a parole eligibility date, which is today, February 24th. April 6th, 2026. Your good time date is October 8th of 2026. Does all that sound right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So tell us, Ms. Geidel, why are you in prison? What led you here?
Well, I was in a marriage for a while and my husband left me. And I decided that drugs and alcohol and that lifestyle was okay, but it wasn't. And I just made a lot of bad choices. And it was nobody's fault but my own. And God needed me to sit down and rethink my actions. And now I know my bad choices is what led me here.
So I'm going to have some questions for you in just a minute. I'll let you collect yourself. We'd like to hear from the warden. Warden Thomas, tell us about Ms. Geidel's stay with you all.
Yes, ma'am. She actually just transferred here in October. So, we haven't had a whole lot of time with her. Since she has been here with us, she has been participating in schooling and working on that. She's not had any disciplinary reports or no disciplinary issues whatsoever. So again, we haven't had her a too terribly long of amount of time, but we've also had 0 issues since she's been with us.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
We'd like to hear, before we start our interview, we'd like to hear from Ms. Geidel's family. We'd like to hear from her father first. Mr. Whalen? You're on mute, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Am I on now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What, did you have a question or you just want me to speak?
A question. I want to know what you would like us to know.
Oh, well, I can tell you a little background that first of all, Norma had kind of a rough life when she was younger because I was in the military and for 3 full years I was in Vietnam at one time or another, either in the Navy on aircraft carriers or in the Army as infantry. So she was born while I was overseas. In fact, I didn't even know she was born until she was 2 months old. Her mother, unfortunately, was an alcoholic from probably the whole time since we got married, but she eventually died from that. when she was in her early 50s. She took Norma and her brother Jimmy back to Louisiana when they were probably in their mid-teens, and she pretty much just turned them loose and let them do whatever they wanted. And they didn't go to school, and she just drug them around town and drank. She left them with other relatives from time to time. The best I knew. In fact, I had to take emergency leave when I was in Vietnam once and come home and find them because nobody knew where they were at. And her mother had left them with a relative of theirs that was a pedophile. So I finally found them and put them with an aunt and uncle in New Iberia that took care of them till I got back from Vietnam. And off and on after that, they came and went in my life very seldom because they stayed in Louisiana and were not interested in coming back to where I lived, and would have made them go to school and do what they're supposed to do. And they were still very young people. She did live through that for a good while. She married a couple times, and neither marriage seemed to have worked out for her. I know she worked a lot as an electrician and did some and got in problems with drugs or alcohol, I'm sure. Although I didn't get a whole lot of information on it. I think she was probably arrested 1 or 2 times for some stuff. I don't know what it was. She came to stay with me and my wife, who I married after I retired from the Army in 1983. But she never stayed long till she was back to Louisiana. She has as you're probably aware, she was a bro originally. Her mother was a bro. And she has probably half the people in Iberia Parish are related to her in one way or another. I've been talking with her and helping her out as best I can. Well, since she's been in jail since I think last April, and she seems to me to be doing. She's finally found religion. Although I will say that after I retired from the Army, I became an attorney in North Carolina, and I practiced basically criminal law for 32 years. And most of that was in federal court, to say the last 15 years of it. So I've had a lot of experience with clients that went to jail for drugs, and I think I can give a pretty fair idea of what I think I would say that probably half of them come back again, maybe even more than that. But I think from what I've heard Norma doing and talked with her a few times, when she calls her, I can't call her apparently, but when she calls, she seems to have changed her, at least found Christ. And she seems to be have a good chance of living with Nikki, who's her half sister up in Charleston or Lake Charles. Yeah, who is very, very Christian and has raised 4 or 5 kids, and she's doing well. And if I could pick the perfect person for Norma to get paroled to, it would be Nikki. I think she's been through a rough life herself. And all the people in Iberia Parish that are related to Norma they're typical of all the people I've known in that part of the country, and they would do anything for her as long as she behaves. So she's going, and she's not going back to Iberia Parish, I would hope, because there's just too many people there that are not good people that have gotten her, helped her with her being in trouble rather than help her get away from it. But she does have a lot of backup from most of the people that that were related to her are very, very good people. And I met her mother when I was stationed in the Navy in New Iberia. They had a naval station there, aviation station there. And so I lived there for a good while myself, and I'm pretty familiar with how things work there. And I think the ideal thing is for her to go into some kind of alcohol and drug program. And I can't think of a better, not even close to a better person than Nikki for her to be sent with. Because Nikki would treat her well, but she would not take a bunch of crap from her. So, yeah, that's pretty much. I mean, I love her. She's my daughter. I'd like to see her. I mean, I'm 82 years old. I'd like to see her at least turn around before I die.
Well, we appreciate your insight, Mr. Whalen. Is it Whalen?
Wallen.
Whalen, I apologize. And thank you for your service. So, can we hear from Nancy? Is it Nancy?
Yes, ma'am, it's Nancy, but go by Nikki as well.
You're Nikki. Okay, we'd like to.
So I'm the baby sister, and I agree with everything Mr. Jim, her dad, said. I had a rough life growing up as well. I was involved in all the same things that years and years ago until I became a mother, and I changed my life for my kids. And my sister, it took her a little bit longer, but I've noticed the difference in her language. And I know a lot of people, whenever they coming out of jail, they say they gave their life to the Lord and they want to change. But she used to be kind of offended by whenever we would try to tell her to give her life to the Lord, to give her life to Christ. And now she's giving me prayers, and I could see the change in her. And I trust that she's gonna do right whenever she gets out. She's never been really a hard criminal. She's had her moments in her past where she didn't live right. She's never been to this place where she's been recently that ended up getting her where she is now. So, and I think now that she's getting older, she's really thinking hard about her decisions that she's made with her life. And I will not be, I'm not doing, being a homeschool my kids are my world, and protecting my life means everything to me. And my kids, I'm not putting nobody above my kids. And if I take her in, I'm gonna be hard on her. She's gonna have rules that she gotta follow, because I don't allow no kind of nonsense around my family and my kids. I got my life together, and I'm not letting nobody take away what the Lord blessed me with. So I will be here for her. I originally told the board that we needed to get her in a program or some kind of housing, because my husband didn't want her here, but I ended up convincing him to give her a chance. And I made it very clear what we expect from her, and she's on board.
Thank you, Nikki. We appreciate your perspective, and thanks for sharing those remarks with us. And now we have Destiny. Is Destiny on with us? This is Miss Geidel's daughter. Is she on? She's got disconnected somehow. So, Miss Norma, your case
Yes,
was
ma'am.
assigned to me. I have some questions for you.
Yes, ma'am.
So you mentioned you were in a bad marriage. In that particular marriage, you were married more than once, were you not?
Yes, ma'am.
Dad says you were.
Yes, I
So the one you're referring to, when did you get married?
I got married. Yeah, we were married for 10 years. So
When?
May 17th, 2006.
2006. And were you involved in drugs prior to that?
I was involved with alcohol, which is drugs.
Okay. I asked that question because you mentioned you're in a bad relationship and it broke up and then you got involved in drugs. But I see when I look at your arrest history, it starts in March of 2005 in Florida.
Yes.
Then you move on and you go to there's some, I guess you came back to Iberia Parish and there's something in Georgia, all of which involves
drugs.
I believe drugs. Maybe the charges weren't drugs, but it's clear that you were involved in drugs.
Yes, I was.
When did the marriage break up?
The marriage broke up in February of 2016. When I came to Louisiana, he decided to not let me come home to North Carolina.
Okay.
So I stayed here.
All right. And since you've been here in Iberia Parish, I guess, have you sought any treatment for drugs?
I have now. I went to drug court I did drug court for probably a little better than 2 years, and I sanctioned free. And then I was headed to drug court one day and I got run off the road and I landed in a ditch and I got revoked, and I decided that a good idea would be to go back to my ex-boyfriend who just got out of prison, and I got even deeper into drugs and ran. That's when I ran to Georgia because I was scared of him and the abuse, and I was scared of going to jail, and I just kept messing up, and I let my bad decisions lead me to even worse decisions, and I never considered how my decisions would affect my family.
Oh, I see. Is Destiny with us? Is that Destiny? Destiny, we'll be with you in just a moment. We're gonna continue with our interview, and then we'd like to hear from you. So, Ms. Norma, I see in my record it shows you have some pending charges in St. Martin.
Yes, ma'am.
And it says you had a trial set for yesterday. Did you go to court?
No, they didn't come get me. I called the lawyer and the secretary, and she said they were filing a thing to suppress the motion to suppress yesterday, and that's all I heard from them.
So you don't know if there's if that's been reset for another day?
No, and the secretary told me they were gonna run it concurrent, or I have a hard time communicating with them because the lawyer never really speak to me, but yeah.
So are you enrolled in any programs now?
Yes, ma'am. Before I came here, when I was still in St. Martin, I enrolled myself into a STAR program they have there. And they said that I had to do this DOC charges first. And I'm in GED here and Celebrate Recovery, New Beginnings, Life of a Single Mom, and a few church programs. I try really hard to get in anything that will help me on the outside, inside and on the outside, because I don't want to just walk out of here and just feel like I'm done, because I want to make sure that I do everything I can to not be a burden to my family, to do everything the right way.
Well, so that's all up to you. So out of those programs you mentioned, which is the most meaningful to you?
The meaningful ones to me is life of a single mom and new beginnings and celebrate recovery because I know that I can continue these on the outside, and that's what I want.
Good. So let's move on and hear from Destiny. You know, well, I'll tell you in just a minute. Destiny, what would you like us to know about your mom?
Maybe.
I had you on mute for my son. She has been honestly the only anchor I've had in my life. My father has always been in and out of our lives, very abusive and neglectful. He used to try to have me, once I got into my older teen years, to fist fight my mother. He's never been a world record father. For my 15th birthday, it was a great idea to give me my first line of Coke. So this was not a home for her, which we no longer speak to that man anymore, obviously. But she has been through a lot. And as now a mother who has been through a lot as well, I have been recovered for 6 years after my son died. I had went down on a binge or two. And so as a recovered addict, I know that Norma's got a better shot with a stronger support system than I've ever got. And I truly believe that she deserves it. I didn't write anything down to talk because I wanted it to be from the heart. But I do believe that Norma has got a better shot at coming home and being with her family than I ever did even getting clean. My sister as well, she wasn't able to be here on this call, but she's also excited and expecting mom to come home. I have been talking to mom a lot about getting her some help out here as well. She does have a very strong team. This is the most I've actually seen her struggle. She's always been able to just keep herself together, which I understand after, 15 years of abuse and then this, that we do make mistakes. But beyond that, I think Norma is, no, I'm talking. Sorry. I think Norma is the most beautiful, heartfelt woman I've ever had the journey or joy of being able to know. And I love my mom very much. She's a very good.
Well, thank you for sharing that with us,
Appreciate
and
it.
congratulations on your journey and your recovery. Looks like you're doing well. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. I am now a surrogate as well. I have 2 boys and I'm a surrogate, and I advocate for women on a journey of recovering and beginning their lives. So
Good for you. So Norma,
Yes, ma'am.
I'm so pleased to see your family support. I'm sure that was always there, but I can feel it now because you're very emotional. I can tell you feel it. I'm really pleased that you are involved in prayer. You have a good time date, which is in October. From my point of view, that's not very far away. Plus the program participation that you have, you'll earn, I believe, some good time credits and move that date forward. But I think you're in the best place you need to be right now to get the help you need help.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm so glad to see that your sister is there and she's ready. Her family is ready to welcome you and keep you on the straight and narrow. You need that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree totally.
Okay, well, I'm glad to hear you say that. I don't have any other questions. I'm going to see if my colleagues have any questions. Mr. Freeman?
No, I don't. I was gonna ask about how much contact you have with your children, but my daughter kind of explained it at the end. So I just heard Miss Renata, you have a terrific support system. And by the time you finish Celebrate Recovery in that other class, you might get out before April. So,
Okay.
so that's something to look forward to.
Mr. Prater, questions?
No questions.
All right, so, Norma, and I don't want you to take this the wrong way. My vote's
Yes,
gonna be to deny your parole today, but that's to give you the opportunity to complete those and actively participate in those self-help programs. If you need it, it's gonna give you some tools, because I really, really want you to succeed.
Thank you so much. I really, really want to, and I want to say
I can tell, and you're gonna do well. Good luck to you, ma'am. My vote is to deny your parole to give you that opportunity. Mr. Freeman.
I concur. I feel that the programs are gonna help you a lot. And like I said, once you get the good time, it's gonna move up your out date anyway. Well, you know, just remember, see what your daughter did. I mean, she did it 6 years, so you can do it too.
Mr. Prater?
Concur with you all in denying it, and with all the encouragement and all that I can give, I think everything's gonna work out fine.
I do too. Thank you so much.
Good luck to you. You got some work to do. You can do it. Good luck.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, we are now at CALCASIEU Correctional Center, and I believe we have Mr. Hanchett. Mr. Hanchett, would you introduce yourself for the record, sir? Tell us your name and OC number.
My name is Marlon Hanchett, DOC number 434216.
Good deal. And sir, do you have any paperwork there with you this morning?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that a parole revocation questionnaire?
Yes, ma'am.
That's your signature at the bottom of the page, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Based on that information, sir, you're not eligible for us to appoint you a lawyer. So are you ready to proceed without a lawyer?
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Thank you. Your case has been assigned to Mr. Prater. You'll see him on your screen. Would you answer his questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Hanchett, hope you're doing okay today.
Yes, sir.
We're here for a revocation hearing, and as you are aware, revocation hearing means that you're accused of having been out on parole for whatever the charges may be, and that you didn't abide by the conditions that you agreed to when you got out. And so you're charged with or suspected of violating 2 of the conditions. Number 4, which means that you violated some sort of law, or you are around illegal drugs, or misusing alcohol, or that sort of thing. You were charged with something. That's number 4. Number 10 means that you didn't keep up with your money. You didn't pay your probation fees that you're supposed to, and parole fees. And we'll talk about number 10 on the money part in just a minute, but let's talk about number 4 first. So you understand we're going to be talking about your charges, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and it's alleged that you were possessing with intent to distribute a large amount of fentanyl pills, and you were charged with that. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and we're talking about over 20,000 pills, or I believe it was 17.5 pounds of fentanyl tablets, which is a lot. You agree with that? Sure. Okay. And you're charged with having possessed that and actually sold that to undercover agents. And then when you were arrested on that warrant a year later, or close to a year later, when you were stopped, you had driving a stolen car and had some hydrocodone tablets, 29 hydrocodone tablets in the car with you. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. It was in my pill. It was a pill bottle in my name. It was medicated to me.
Okay, so you had a prescription for those?
Yes, sir. It was a prescription that I had in my name, in the bottle with my name on it. And they still.
Did you have a prescription for the 17.5 pounds of fentanyl tablets?
Sir, those charges have been dismissed.
Okay. Whether they were dismissed or not, did you admit that you took the bag of fentanyl tablets, 17.5 pounds, and placed them from one car into the other car?
No, sir. I did not admit to that.
You didn't tell the parole officer that?
No, sir, I did not.
Okay. Let's see here. So you weren't seen on video doing that, and they didn't have audio and video of you doing that, correct?
They had me audio and video putting a bag in a car, but wasn't with no fentanyl pills, sir.
What was in the bag?
It was considered clothing, from my understanding. I didn't look in the bag. I just was removing the bag with supposed to be clothing. I have a clothing company, and I was told that I was delivering, moving a bag of clothing to another bag. That was what I was told. I never looked in the bag. I never seen no pills. I never even reported to have no pills. Never even had it in my possession.
Well, if you picked it up, you had it in your possession.
But I didn't knowingly know what was in the bag when I put the bag in the car. This wasn't something I was told that they have fentanyl pills in the bag, sir.
Well,
that's why these charges was dismissed.
Are you? That's not why they were dismissed, was it?
It was dismissed due to the fact that they had uncredible detectives that wasn't credible for the purpose of me being charged. They wasn't held credible. So that's what it was dismissed. In other words, it was some, how my lawyer told me it was
Brady case.
Sir?
Correct? It was a Brady case.
A Brady case.
Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And the confidential informant was dead at time of trial, correct?
Yes, sir.
But what about the audio and video where they're discussing this deal?
They never.
Did that not?
Sir?
Okay, go ahead.
the audio and video never was discussed about any drugs. The audio and video never was discussed about any drugs in the audio or video. There never was any discussion about drugs.
Okay. And so let's move on. There is one case that's still pending, is that correct?
They OR the bonds on those cases, sir.
So everything's dismissed against you, correct? Is that what you're saying?
Well, they OR the bonds. I just had to come for this revocation. And if y'all granted me to go home, I can go home.
Okay, so you're actually on, they gave you an OR, the judge ordered that you be released on your own recognizance, correct?
Yes, sir.
So the case is still pending.
The truck and the pill bottle and the money laundry. And the money laundering they had gave back to me. It was the money laundry was gave back. The money was gave back to me from the money laundry case.
Right, I read that in the police reports that you got the 6,000 something back.
Yes, sir.
So you got that back, but the pills and the stolen vehicle are still pending, correct? Let me ask you something. Was the vehicle stolen?
They said it was stolen, but 5 days before they arrested me, they came to my house and we showed them the paperwork. They didn't say it was stolen that day. 5 days later, when they picked me up on a warrant, they said it was stolen. So I don't understand. The people that sold me the truck had paperwork. We had paperwork and we had insurance. So if it was stolen, I don't understand how did we end up with paperwork and insurance. That's what I'm fighting. I didn't go and steal the truck. This was sold to me with paperwork. So that's why we're fighting this case. Because my lawyer, everybody seen with the DA, they seen that the paperwork was there. So I'm not understanding how is this truck being stolen? I had paperwork. That's why
I think that's. How much do you owe? Do you owe for your parole fees?
Yes, sir. When I first came home, I didn't have no job. But when I started working, I paid every month from when I was working. I paid every month. I did community service. I passed all drug screens. I did everything so I didn't have no sanctions. I had no sanctions when I was home. The only thing I got was when they put these charges on. Everything else, I was doing right. I was doing everything I was supposed to do until these indictment came, which I call entrapment, because I did a lot of stuff for the community. I did back to school drives. I was doing a lot. I don't know if my paperwork was sent to y'all, but everything was supposed to be sent to y'all, dealing with everything I was doing. I even helped the judge. Yes, sir.
We got the paperwork and we've got the case file and all the paperwork and everything else about everything that you did. Madam Chairman, that's all I'd like to hear y'all's questions, and we may need to go into executive session.
Okay, my question is, why did you meet him?
Sir?
Why did you meet him to put the supposedly clothes in the trunk?
Because it was supposed to be for my clothing line, sir. I was told by the dead guy that these people.
What's they paid for your clothes?
Sir?
What they paid you for those clothes?
I never got paid. The dead guy was supposed to receive the money for my clothes. He was supposed to pay me. What I was told you to put the bag in the car.
So your clothes. It was your clothes, you saying your clothing line, but you didn't know there was drugs in there. You thought there was clothes. There's a big difference between drugs and clothes.
Yes, sir. But he was supposed to get these clothes and put them in the car himself, from my understanding. But I was told this was clothes.
Okay. That's really hard to believe, I'll tell you.
I never looked in the bag, sir.
Okay. I have no further questions.
Where's your lawyer today?
They was here, but they had to go because they said it was taking too long, because it said it was gonna start at 8:30, at 9, but they had to be somewhere. They was here though, that's how I got these papers right here.
What is that?
That's the paper showing that my charges was dismissed,
But you still have some pending.
and they showing that they are ordered by the judge. And the judge was.
Yeah, but that
was-
doesn't, not pending.
Yeah.
All right, I don't have any other questions. We'd like to get that paperwork sent to us. We'll ask the officer to do so. I don't have any questions, Mr. Prater. Are you ready to vote?
Miss Cheryl,
I'm sorry.
my lawyer gave it to the parole place. They have a copy of this.
Okay, we'll get it from them.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Who is your lawyer?
Derek Key from Cox and Cox.
Key or King?
Yes, ma'am. Key, Kee.
Okay, thank you.
Yes,
Mr.
ma'am.
Prater, ready to vote?
We can go into executive session.
We have a
If we
motion,
could get-
a second for executive session. I do not object. So stand by, Mr. Hanchett. We're going to be in
Yes,
executive session.
Yes, ma'am. Thank y'all. I think so.
All right, it is 10:22, and I make the motion to return to regular session. Is there any objection? All right, Mr. Hanchett, we are back in regular session, and I think we are ready to vote. Mr. Prater will be voting first. Mr. Prater.
Mr. Hanchett, our job is not to determine guilt or innocence the same way that a judge has to. Our job is to see if there's a preponderance of evidence, credible evidence that leads us to believe that you're involved in criminal conduct. I know you have one case that's still pending. The fact that you actually took a large amount of drugs and placed them into another vehicle, I think that gives me a preponderance of the evidence, and there's no question that you did that. That along with, I don't see any evidence that the pills were yours that you're currently going to court on. I didn't see a script of that. It wasn't provided. The vehicle is very questionable as far as paperwork, but we do know it's stolen. And so I feel like because of those reasons that I think it's in the best interest of the public that you be revoked on your parole.
Mr. Freeman.
Find the subject violation of conviction, condition number 4, and I vote to revoke, and number 10.
And I do agree, Mr. Hanchett. So my vote also is to revoke today. So today, Mr. Hanchett, your parole's being revoked, sir. Good luck to you in court.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Lewis, good morning. Would you tell us for the record, sir, your name and DOC number?
Parole Lewis, 702-759-702.
Yeah, that's the one I'm looking for. And you are at CALCASIeu Correctional Center, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have any paperwork there with you?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that a parole revocation questionnaire?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that your signature at the bottom of that page?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and based on the information in that piece of paper, you're not eligible for us to appoint you a lawyer. So are you ready to proceed with this revocation proceeding without a lawyer present?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, your case this morning has been assigned to Mr. Prater. You'll see him on your screen. Would you answer his questions?
Yes, sir. How are you doing today?
I'm all right.
Okay. All right. Well, when you get out of jail on parole, you agree to abide by certain conditions. And if you don't agree to those, then you are up for a parole revocation hearing, which is why we're here today. You are suspected of having violated a couple of different conditions. Number one is that number three is what they call it, condition number three, is that you changed addresses and without telling your parole officer, and they couldn't find you and didn't know where you were, and finally end up, the only reason they found you is because you were arrested on another reason. Did you do that? Did you change your address twice and not tell your parole officer?
No, I didn't change my address.
What happened?
Well, my sister had lost her house, and then the time I seen then I seen the smell like right after that, and gave her my new address when we was at McDonald's. The time we met at McDonald's.
So you did everything you're supposed to do, and your parole officer just didn't keep up with their business. Is that what you're saying?
We were at McDonald's, and I told her what happened and gave her the new address.
Okay, so you're pleading not guilty to that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, well, let's move on to number 4. Something that happened you were arrested in October of 2025, not too many months ago. You were arrested and charged with armed robbery, a couple of armed robberies, attempted armed robbery. Gun was with a gun enhancement, and you ended up pleading guilty in December, a month and a half ago or 2 months ago, whatever, of theft less than $1,000. Is that correct?
Yeah, I pleaded guilty to that charge.
So that's correct. You did plead guilty to the theft, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and did the theft involve the armed robbery, internal armed robbery of a manager of a, what was it, a Church's Chicken? Is that correct?
They,
It was?
no, say what you said again?
Were you involved with robbing a Church's
No,
Chicken?
sir. No, sir.
Were you
Right.
involved with, what did you plead guilty to?
So the charge I came to jail from.
Speak up and speak up and clearly.
To that charge I came to jail on.
What happened to the charge?
So, well, they dropped the armed robberies, but they do it, and then I put out to a theft charge.
Why did you plead if you wasn't guilty?
I didn't, that was the same charge. I thought it was 2 different charges.
And so, were you guilty of anything?
Death less than $1,000.
What did you steal?
Something from Walmart.
From Walmart?
Yeah.
What happened to the church's chicken deal?
That wasn't me. They arrested me because I fit a description.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So they got the wrong person on that, and your parole officer lying on you on not being able to find you.
I
that
gave
correct?
my parole officer, the new address.
Okay, and all right, well, let's just deal with Walmart. What did you steal?
It was some clothes and stuff.
Okay.
Before I got the new house, I was homeless for like a month.
Okay, I don't have any other questions.
Different.
I do. Who is Candace Stevens?
One of the little chicks I was messing with.
Why would this little chick you were messing with say that you did it and led them to where your clothes were and the money bag?
Huh?
She told them where the clothes were and a money bag that y'all had taken.
I don't know how she did
She
that.
stated Lewis received a call from Carrier prior to the robbery and later discarded the money bag and clothing in a trash can outside the residence. A search warrant was executed where officers recovered the clothing, blue money bag, and bicycles matching those in surveillance footage. Y'all planned this robbery together. You robbed a buddy and y'all split the money. I have no further questions.
All right, and I don't have any other questions. So I think, Mr. Lewis, we're ready to vote. Mr. Prater?
Mr. Lewis, you find that you are guilty of condition 3 and condition 4 of violating your parole, and that your parole will be revoked, and you have a genuinely sorry attitude. And we don't usually get that before the parole board, but you really have an attitude that you need to reflect on, and especially in a serious situation like this hearing is. And so that's my vote, is to revoke 3 and 4.
Mr. Freeman?
I concur.
My vote also is to revoke based on, I find you guilty of violating condition number 4. You pled guilty to criminal activity. So today, sorry, Mr. Lewis, your parole is being revoked.
Y'all spend me to the Hope Center for a couple months.
All right, good morning. This is Mr. McDowell. Y'all are on mute still.
All right, we got two of them. We have Tony and Keyshawn. Which one are you wanting?
Well, who's that before us?
Okay.
Is this Keshan?
No, this is Tony.
No,
Okay.
go with Tony first. All right, Tony, for the record, sir, state your name and DOC number.
Ma'am,
What's your name and your DOC number?
Tony McDowell. I forgot my DOC number.
Right, let's see.
Oh, it's 801-887.
That's it. And you're here for a revocation decision this morning. Are you ready to proceed without a lawyer?
Yes, ma'am.
Speak up.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So you're accused of violating the conditions of your parole. Condition number 1 says you were released from jail October 8th, 2025. You were instructed to report to the probation and parole to complete your intake within 48 hours of release, and you did not do so. You reported October 29th, 25. So how do you plead to violating condition number 1?
Ma'am,
How do you plead to violating that condition? You didn't report within 48 hours when you were released.
Yeah.
Guilty or not guilty?
guilty.
Then there's condition number 3, which says you reported an address on Pecan Street in Delhi to your parole officer. They tried to make multiple attempts to contact you at that address. No contact was made. It was learned you'd moved to Edgar Street without permission of your parole officer. So how do you plead to violating condition number 3?
Guilty.
Number 4 says on December 15, 2025, you were arrested by Richland Parish Sheriff's Office for possession of a stolen firearm by a convicted felon. On November 21st, 2025, you received a verbal reprimand for associating with persons known to be involved in criminal activity. For agents, they located drug paraphernalia inside the common areas of your listed address on Edgar Street. So how do you plead to violating condition number 4, which has to do with being involved in criminal activity?
Not guilty.
No.
Not guilty.
You said not guilty? And then there's condition number 5. On December 15, you were found in possession of a stolen firearm by agents with probation and parole at your address on Edgar Street. How do you plead to violating condition number 5?
Not guilty.
Condition number 6, you failed to gain employment since being placed on supervision and being placed on parole in October 2025. So how do you plead to violating that condition?
Guilty.
Did you have that space and talk to her?
Yes, thank you. So you've pled guilty to condition number 1, 3, and 6, and not guilty to number 5. Tell us about condition number 4, about the firearm. Tell us where'd that come from? You found it in the house you stayed in the room you stayed in.
I stayed in my room. And the gun was outside in the trash can. Outside.
Right, I understand that. But it was moved from the room you stayed in to outside.
No, man. It was no, man.
Okay. According to the report I have, it was moved by a young juvenile from the room y'all stayed in while the officers were doing something else, and it was moved to the front porch. So you're saying not guilty.
Yes, ma'am.
Anything else you want to add?
No, ma'am.
All right, let me ask my colleagues if they have any questions. Mr. Freeman?
Did you know about the gun at all?
No, sir.
You have no idea how that gun got in that trash can that came out of your room.
No, sir.
All
Any
right.
other questions?
Mr. Prater, any questions?
You know about the drug paraphernalia that was in the room?
No, sir.
Didn't know that either. Okay. I don't have any other questions.
All right. Anything else you want to say, Mr. McDowell?
No, ma'am.
All right. I think I am ready to vote. You pled guilty to violating the conditions of your parole, as I mentioned earlier. I do find you guilty based on the evidence that we have in the record from probation and parole, guilty also of violating condition number 4 and 5. So my vote today is going to be to revoke your parole. Mr. Freeman?
Mine's the same. We can't find out who owns that gun, and it was definitely in your proximity and come out of your bedroom. So my vote is the same.
Mr. Prater?
I concur. My vote's the same.
All right. Good luck to you, Mr. Keyshawn.
Nice
Today,
talking.
parole is revoked.
Tony, my dad. Bro.
They might have got you and Tony mixed up. I mean, you and Keyshawn.
Yeah, I realized the guy we saw just now was Tony. This is
Oh, okay.
Keyshawn.
Okay, yes, ma'am. And here is your DOC number.
All right, Keyshawn, tell us, would you for the record tell us your name and DOC number?
KEYSHAWN MCDOWELL. 8018885.
All right, sir. And you're here for a revocation decision. You have that paperwork there in front of you?
Yes, ma'am.
Is that your signature on the bottom of that page?
Yes, ma'am.
So based on that information, you're not eligible for us to appoint you a lawyer. So you ready to proceed without a lawyer today?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so I'm gonna read the allegations against you, and I'd like you to enter a plea of guilty or not guilty, and then we'll talk about it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so first is your parole condition number 1, and you violated because or you're alleged to have violated. It says you were released from jail October 8th, 2025. You were instructed to report to the probation and parole office to complete your intake within 48 hours. You failed to report until October 29th, 2025. So how do you plead to violating condition number 1?
Guilty.
Then that next is condition number 3. And the violation states that on October 29th, 2025, you reported an address, a residence on Pecan Street in Delhi. And then on November 13th, parole agents attempted to make contact with you at that address. No contact was made. It was learned you had moved to Edgar Street without permission of your parole officer. So how do you plead to violating that condition?
Guilty.
Then we have condition number 4. On December 15th, 2025, you were arrested by the Richland Parish Sheriff's Office for possession of a stolen firearm by a convicted felon. How do you plead to that condition violation? We also have condition number 5, which is the same. You were found in possession of a stolen firearm by parole officers at your address on Edgar Street in Delhi.
Not give.
Okay. Last is your number 6, condition number 6. The violation reads you failed to gain employment as instructed by your parole officer. How do you plead to that?
Not give.
Not guilty. Okay, tell us about the firearm.
I didn't know the firearm was in there. I was asleep when they happened. I was asleep when they came. So I don't know what's going on with the firearm.
It was found in your room. It was seen in your room. Coming out of your room.
They found it in the trash can though.
They found the trash can on the porch.
Yeah, I don't see how.
But they saw it come out of your room.
No, I didn't know it was in.
All right. What about number 6? which you didn't, get gainful employment. You didn't look for a job. Did you look for a job?
Yeah, I did look for a job.
Were you employed? Yes?
Yeah.
Where were you working?
I was working at the Seavoy.
Did you
I
prove
did.
that parole officer?
Yeah, I did tell the parole off.
You showed him your check stub? Did you get paid by a check?
Yeah, I got paid by the check, yeah.
You showed it to your parole officer?
Nah, I ain't sold.
Why not?
I don't know. I should though.
Yeah, you should. All right, let me see if my colleagues have any questions,
No questions.
Mr. Prater.
Questions?
All right. Keyshawn, you pled guilty to violating condition number 1 and 3, and based on the information contained in the record, you shared that room where the gun was seen coming out of. So I also find you guilty of number 4 and number 5. So my vote today is going to be to revoke your parole. Mr. Frater
Concur.
and Mr. Prater.
Concur.
So, Keyshawn, today your parole's being revoked for violating your conditions. Good luck to you, sir.
So it's violate?
Yep.
So,
You had a possession of firearm.
so I got
All right. Mr. Smith. Y'all are still on mute. Can you get them to unmute the,
Yes, ma'am.
there we are. Thank you, sir. And we're still at Richland, Mr. Smith. Would you, for the record, sir, tell us your name and DOC number?
Glenn Smith, DOC number 232255.
Sir, that's what I have. And so, you have the paperwork there in front of you, your parole revocation questionnaire.
Yes, ma'am.
That's your signature at the bottom.
Yes, ma'am, it is.
So that, sir, says that you're not eligible for us to appoint you a lawyer. So are you ready to proceed with that one today?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I'm going to read the allegations against you, and then you should enter a plea of guilty or not guilty, and then we'll talk about it's alleged you violated condition number 2, and the violation reads, you've not reported to your assigned parole officer since June 5th, 2025.
That's correct.
So you plead guilty to violating condition number 2?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then number 3, the violation says you've not reported to your assigned officer again since June 2025. Attempts were made to contact you by phone and through collateral contacts with acquaintances and the program manager at the Redemption House without success. Then it was learned or established July of 2025 that you no longer lived at Enterprise Avenue. You had moved without prior permission of your parole officer.
I plead guilty to it, ma'am.
Lastly, has to do with your fees. It says you're behind $602 in your fees.
Yes,
How do you-
ma'am. I plead guilty to that also.
Tell us about it. What happened?
Well, ma'am, to be honest with you, I was wrong for leaving the Redemption House. I just lost my oldest daughter in the year of 2020, and my baby girl, she was sick, and me not thinking, I just left. I'm just being honest with you. And when I came up here, I didn't contact anyone or anything, so I'm just taking full responsibility of my wrongdoing.
I'm sorry to hear about the loss of your daughter and that the other one was ill, but you know, when I look at your record, Mr. Smith, I see what your offender class is, and I know you know the rules, and I just don't understand for the life of me why you didn't make contact.
I just wasn't thinking at the time because I was so concerned about my youngest daughter.
Well, let's see. Why were you behind on your fees?
Not working at the time. I hadn't worked at the time.
Did you buy a truck?
Ma'am?
Did you buy a truck?
Yeah, I did.
So how'd you do that?
I was working and I had some money into the probation, and just saving up a few dollars at a time, and ended up getting a cheap vehicle. I did get a vehicle though, honestly.
All right, well, I'm gonna sit back and listen to the questions my colleagues have. Mr. Prater?
You realize how much time you're looking at?
Sir?
Do you realize how much time that you're looking at
Yes,
for
sir.
not abiding by the rules?
Yes, sir, I do.
How many times have you ever been revoked in the past?
Revoked on parole, I think twice.
So you know the rules.
Yes, sir, I do. I can't sit here and lie to you and try to make it look like I, didn't understand what was going on, and I just did wrong, and I apologize for wrongdoing. And sir, I really was so concerned about my youngest daughter I just wasn't functioning on anything. I used to, at one time I was so hooked on drugs, so I just didn't care about anything. and I haven't did drugs in so many years, and getting my life together, and the Redemption House was a big help to me. And I would really like to get back there.
Yes, I know you. It's just so hard because you always got an excuse. If I was to go back and listen to the other hearings when you were revoked before, there's always an excuse, and you're always going to do better, and yet you don't. I don't have anything else.
What did you pay for the truck? Just out of curiosity.
$1,900.
Okay. All right. I have no further questions.
All right. Well, Mr. Smith, I appreciate you being honest with us today. But as Mr. Prater said, you know, you always have an excuse. I find it unfortunate that you didn't take the time to call because you knew the rules. And I'm sorry about your daughter's illness. And you did admit that you were guilty. I think, you know, I have no choice this morning but to revoke your parole and encourage you to take advantage of whatever time you have where you're at. Right, you'll have time to ask us for another parole hearing, but maybe you can get some help with, you know, programs if you can where you're at. My vote today is going to be to revoke because you pled guilty to violating the conditions of your parole. Mr. Freeman.
Concur.
Mr. Prater. All right, Mr. Smith, I do wish you well. Good luck, sir. That concludes our business. We'll sign off at 11:02 today.
That is all.